Britt, what would you say it was about this movie that really made you want to do it? What elements about it excited you?
Well, originally, before I even read the script, I was auditioning for it, and it was Brad Bird. Absolutely. I love his work. I think he's a genius man in the movies that he's made, and he's a real original writer and creator. So I wanted to work with him, and then George Clooney was a bonus. And Damon Lindelof. I just loved the people involved, and then obviously once I read it, the material.
Yeah. How would you say you got ready to play Casey?
There was a lot of physical training, funny enough. I'm not super fit. I'm not, very athletic. So they kind of put me through the ringer so that they knew, once they got me out there doing all the stunts, that I wasn't going to fall and break. But, mentally, I think preparing for the role was just speaking to Brad a lot, He really was the source of information on Casey. He created her, and I know he had a very clear idea of what he wanted out of her to tell the story. So it was just about having communication with him.
Would you say you're like Casey? Can you relate to her?
I can relate to Casey. I'm not as much like her as I wish I was. She's much more of a dreamer and an optimist than I am. I am not. I'm more of a skeptic, but then I'll catch myself and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to think positive today. I'm going to look at this in a bright way, in a way that's going to make some good happen out of it.
A lot of this movie is CG, but you also had some great locations, like those beautiful wheat fields. Mm-hmm. How would you say some of the cool set pieces informed your performance?
Well, there's a scene that's in the trailer where I'm flying above a wheat field, and they really let me have that experience. They had just a pole, this green pole with a little seat that they attached to it, and it was attached to the car with the camera, and they really did let me fly over those wheat fields. And I think, as an actor, as a human, being able to just naturally react to something like that is so mind-blowing. It was awesome to have it captured on film.
What's it like when you find out for sure that you're going to be starring in a movie with George Clooney? Were you apprehensive at first? Are you nervous? Or were you super excited?
It was a lot of emotions. Once I found out that I was doing the movie with George Clooney and he was going to be working with me for, 5 months or something like that, there were definitely nerves, but it was more, I tried to look at it as an opportunity, because I thought people will see this movie, people love George Clooney, and maybe if I do a nice enough job in this, people want me to do other movies.
Favorite scene to shoot?
Actually, I just came up with my favorite scene. Right off the top of my head, because people ask me that a lot. My favorite scene to shoot was the farmhouse sequence, the whole farmhouse sequence. There's a whole thing where I finally get back at one of those robots, and that was really fun because they let me go at him.
And then finally, what do you hope audiences will experience when they see this movie?
I hope the audience, I hope they have a really fun ride. I hope it's an adventure for them, and I hope they come out of the theater being like, yes, let's make a change. Let's dream of a difference. Let's come up with something good that's gonna influence the world and make people feel good about the future.